Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Uncharted 2 Crushing Difficulty walkthrough, and this is chapter 17, also known as Mountaineering. And this chapter is based a lot around platforming and progressing the story. I think it feels a little bit misplaced. I am not a huge fan of this level overall, actually. It works in the context of the game, because it is there to progress the story. You have been through a bunch of quite intense levels, so I guess they're gonna turn it down a little bit and also give Nate some more information about Shambhala. Because in the previous level we went through Tenzin's village and it took us to an elder man, or to an old man, who was part of an expedition going to try to find Shambhala. And he is the guy that sent out Tenzin and Nate on this little quest, because he wants to show Nate what happened to his friends and why he should stay away. Actually, because Shambhala, or Shangri-La, is a dangerous place. As places always are in these games. You think that Nate would get the message sooner or later. Because in the first game, you know, El Dorado was... it wasn't a city of gold, instead it was a big giant coffin, which was solid gold, more or less. But it also contained a curse that made people into blood-sucking gremlins. And I guess that's one of the occupational hazards when you are... when you are an adventurer. But this level can be very, very confusing to get through, and sometimes it's a bit more frustrating than it should have to be, in my opinion. Because sometimes the platforming doesn't work as well as it should. Jumping down there that I just did, I think I died 3 times doing that, and that is just due to poor grip detection, actually. Because I mentioned before that the platforming in this game overall is quite good. I don't know if it's the curse of being an ice level, because we all know, if you grew up in the 80s with all platforming games like Super Mario and games like that, all the levels containing ice or water in any form, H2O in vast amounts, you just knew that that level would be frustrating. The good part about this level in comparison to old levels is that you don't slip and slide around on all this frozen water. But the layout can be a bit confusing, and also in these games, whenever you try to stray from the path, most of the time the game will show you instantly that you have taken the wrong way. One great example of that is in the first game. I can't remember which chapter it is, but you have ridden on your jet ski and jumped ashore, and you're going around in a big circular motion. You're going into a boathouse, and before you can progress onwards in that level, you need to open the doors and let Elena in. If you do not let her in, instead you try to immediately progress forwards, you will end up in an immediate kill state, because you will see Elena get shot, I think, and she will die and you're gonna be reset at the checkpoint. But this level has a few areas. I think it has 1 or 2 places that I found where I could go, but I couldn't get back. And the game didn't send me into a kill state. And I'm not quite sure if it was planned that way. By the way, some foreshadowing. Love that split second thing. Where you just see something big and furry and vicious, and you just know that he will probably be coming for you later in the level. Send shivers down your spine the first time you play this. But anyway, the lack of kill states. I don't know if that is something they did or they plan to do, just to make this level more confusing, since there is a little barrier, to put it clumsily. That was not the best expression, but there is a language barrier, at least, between Tenzin and Nate. Because they can't communicate properly, because Nate, even though he can read ancient hieroglyphs and old languages, I think even in one of the games he reads... can't think of it. The angel language. Whatever it's called. But he doesn't understand what Tenzin is saying. Tenzin is speaking some kind of Asian language. I'm not quite sure which language it is. But they have a lot of problems to communicate. And that also works in... or at least it makes Nate a bit frustrated, I think. But this is... what I was trying to get to, without ranting on for too long, is that this can be a bit of a frustrating level. But if you follow this walkthrough, you shouldn't have any problems getting through it, because it's pretty straightforward once you know the path.
Hey, Schaefer says hello.
And this is one of those moments where I wish I could have edited this better. What you're supposed to do is shoot those icicles. And I didn't realize that immediately. I was so in the mindset that I was supposed to go up those stairs. So I just ran around here like an idiot for a few seconds. And here is the Yeti fight coming up. This fight. There are a few Yeti fights in this game, and they are all timed instances. This one, I'm 99% sure that it's damage based. You do have unlimited ammo for your gun, so feel free to just blast your way through it. But if he gets hold of you, he can kill you quite quickly. I find this fight, sometimes it can be unnecessarily hard, because I'm not quite sure what you're supposed to do. What I do, as you can see, I just run around, try to keep a distance from him and blind fire. And when he gets staggered, I line up my sight and try to put as many bullets in him as I possibly can. And Tenzin is lying there knocked out, having beautiful dreams about whatever. And how you know that this fight is over is that he will pick you up. I think it's coming up right now. He's lifting me up. I start shooting him, he knocks my gun out of my hand, and Tenzin will wake up and come to your rescue. That is your cue that you have beaten the fight. And it took me a few tries, because sometimes you can get really unlucky, because he can have such phantom range when he's chasing you.
Come here. I'll boost you up there.
And that is a problem in these games, actually. Not phantom range overall, but I think there is a bit of an inconsistency when it comes to the boss fights. Because most boss fights in this game are very realistic, actually. But there are a few fights that I really don't like. That is one of them. I think it could have been done better. And also the fight against Brutus, or whatever his name is called, in chapter 14. Because all the bosses in these games take a realistic amount of damage. That Yeti takes quite a substantial amount, but it works in the context of why he is as he is. But Brutus in chapter 14, what did he take? 4 grenades and about 50-60 bullets before he went down. So that is also a fight that could have been done better. But this is also one of those moments where I've actually edited out about 5 minutes of me running around like an idiot, because I was completely blind that day. I guess I didn't find my glasses, or maybe that's before I got my glasses. Anyway, as you can see, all you had to do was shoot down that crate. And that is actually, I think that is where I found one of the areas you can go to and get stuck. Because I went down another path, I came in by some rocks, and I realized there is no way to go, and I don't think I could get back either. So I had to kill myself and respawn next to Tenzin. But anyway, we are coming up to the end of this chapter. Now all that remains is run up these stairs, and you have beaten the mountaineering level. So I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.